Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about one of the most common mistakes I see in TOEFL essays, mistakes that can seriously hurt your score. Here's the situation. Many students try to write very long sentences, and that makes sense because the TOEFL writing rubric rewards complex sentences over short, choppy ones. But here's the catch. If your ideas aren't connected correctly, your long sentence may actually be wrong. And when that happens, your sentence usually turns into either a fragment or a run-on. So, today, we're going to learn exactly how to avoid both. Understanding sentence structure. Before we fix mistakes, let's step back and ask, what is a sentence really? Every sentence must have two essential parts: a subject, who or what the sentence is about, and a verb, the action or state. Sometimes the verb also needs a complement or object to complete its meaning. For example, I studied for the exam. The verb studied is complete on its own. I studied math. Here, studied needs an object, math, to complete the meaning. When we have just one subject and one verb, we get a simple sentence. But TOEFL writing usually requires more than that. You need to connect and expand your ideas. To do this, we use clauses. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. A simple sentence is made of one independent clause. But when we have more than one independent clause, we need to connect them correctly. And there are only two ways to do this: with coordinating conjunctions or with subordinating conjunctions. Building compound sentences with coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are small but powerful words: and, but, or, so, yet, nor, for. They can join two independent clauses to form a compound sentence. The sun set and the sky turned orange. Notice, both sides of the sentence are incomplete clauses, so you can use period instead of a comma. Use a comma before the conjunction when joining two independent clauses. Building complex sentences with subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions create dependent clauses. These include relative pronouns, who, which, that. They introduce adjective clauses. Interrogative pronouns, what, how, why. They introduce noun clauses. Other subordinators, because, although, if, when, since, etc. They introduce adverbial clauses. A dependent clause cannot stand alone because it doesn't express a complete thought. When you join one independent clause with one dependent clause, you create a complex sentence. Examples: the boy who wore the red shirt won the race. The house where people found the money was burnt. I don't know what he is talking about. The house was burnt because there was a gas leak. Important comma rule. If the dependent clause comes before the main clause, use a comma. If it comes after, no comma. Because there was a gas leak, the house was burnt. The house was burnt because there was a gas leak. If you put a period instead of joining the dependent clause to the independent clause, you create a sentence fragment, which is a mistake we must avoid. Compound complex sentences. Finally, the fourth type of sentence is the compound complex sentence. This combines two independent clauses with at least one dependent clause. The sun set and the sky turned orange because the day was ending. Here we have two independent clauses, the sun set and the sky turned orange. One dependent clause, because the day was ending. The four sentence types. So, to sum up, English has only four possible sentence structures: simple, one independent clause; compound, two or more independent clauses joined with a coordinating conjunction; complex, one independent clause plus one or more dependent clauses; compound complex, at least two independent clauses plus at least one dependent clause. If a sentence doesn't fit into one of these four categories, it's not a correct sentence. That means it's either a fragment, missing a piece, or a run-on, ideas joined incorrectly. Now let's begin with run-on sentences. Why start here? Because they're usually easier to recognize and fix. A run-on sentence happens when two or more independent clauses are joined incorrectly, often with no conjunction or sometimes just a comma. For example, running is like a drug. Long-distance runners are in euphoria. This is not correct because the two ideas are simply placed side by side without the proper connection. How to fix run-ons? The good news is that we have several straightforward ways to correct them. 1. Split into two sentences. Sometimes the easiest fix is to separate the clauses completely. Wrong. Running is like a drug. Long-distance runners are in euphoria. Correct. Running is like a drug. Long-distance runners are in euphoria. 2. Use a coordinating conjunction or subordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions include words like and, but, so, or, yet, nor, for. These allow you to connect ideas smoothly. Correct with coordinating, running is like a drug and long-distance runners are in euphoria. Correct with subordinating, since running is like a drug, long-distance runners are in euphoria. 3. Use a semicolon or colon. A semicolon works well when the two clauses are closely related. A colon is useful when the second part explains or expands on the first. Correct with semicolon. Running is like a drug. Long-distance runners are in euphoria. Correct with colon. Running is like a drug. Long-distance runners are in euphoria. Why do run-ons happen? One common reason is confusion about connectors. Many students think that conjunctive adverbs, words like however, moreover, consequently, therefore, can act like conjunctions, but grammatically they cannot. These adverbs need proper punctuation, usually a semicolon or period. Wrong. She studied diligently, therefore she passed the exam. Correct. She studied diligently, therefore she passed the exam. Correct. She studied diligently, therefore she passed the exam. Complex run-ons. Run-ons become even harder to read when they involve three or more clauses. For example, the rain fell heavily, the streets were flooded, the traffic was terrible. This sentence actually fuses three complete thoughts together. Here are two possible revisions. The rain fell heavily and the streets were flooded. Consequently, the traffic was terrible. Because the rain fell heavily, the streets were flooded, and the traffic was terrible. Now, let's turn to sentence fragments, which usually require a little more creativity to fix than run-ons. A fragment is simply a sentence that looks complete on the surface, but is actually missing a key part, most often a subject, a verb, or a full independent clause. When you find a fragment, you generally have two options. You can attach it to a nearby sentence where it logically belongs, or you can add the missing elements so that it becomes a full sentence on its own. Let's look at some common cases. Fragments with no subject. Take this example. For most people who have dogs live longer, happier lives. Something feels off here. The problem is that the first half is missing a subject. To fix it, we could write, for most people who have dogs, life is longer and happier. Or, most people who have dogs live longer, happier lives. Both versions supply the missing subject and give us a complete thought. Here's another case. With the dancing background is her strength. Or, although she can dance, did not help her getting the role. These are incorrect because the opening phrases, with the dancing background and although she can dance, cannot act as subjects by themselves. To repair them, we either rephrase or supply a proper subject. For example, the dancing background is her strength. Or, with the dancing background, she is a strong candidate. Likewise, although she can dance, the skill did not help her get the role. Or, the fact that she can dance did not help her get the role. Notice how each correction gives the sentence the missing backbone it needs. Sometimes fragments appear when writers confuse adverbial clauses with full sentences. For instance,
because we want to be healthy is why we exercise. This is incorrect. We can fix it by turning the adverbial into part of a main clause. Because we want to be healthy, we exercise. Or we can restructure it into a noun clause. The fact that we want to be healthy is the reason that we exercise. Fragments also appear when coordinating conjunctions are misused. Coordinating conjunctions, words like and or but, can join two clauses when the subject is omitted in one clause. But if you separate them into two sentences, you must restore the missing subject. For example, he was just too eager and called me every hour. That second part is incomplete. To correct it, he was just too eager and he called me every hour. Another example, she wanted to go to the concert, but couldn't get a ticket. The fix is, she wanted to go to the concert, but couldn't get a ticket. Fragments with no verb. Sometimes the subject is present, but the verb is missing. Imagine you write, my favorite teacher, an expert in history and literature. At first glance, it feels complete. We have a subject, my favorite teacher, plus details. But what is the teacher doing? Or what is being said about the teacher? Without a verb, the thought is unfinished. To fix it, we could write, my favorite teacher is an expert in history and literature. The verb is connects the subject to the rest of the sentence. That small word is the glue that holds everything together. Fragments without verbs often appear when students pile on details but forget the action. For example, the complex data analysis requiring careful attention to detail. It looks impressive, but it's not a sentence. To fix it, the complex data analysis requires careful attention to detail. Or, the most difficult task was the complex data analysis requiring careful attention to detail. Now the verb makes the thought whole. Here's another case. The quiet cafe on the corner with vintage furniture and the smell of freshly brewed coffee. It's beautifully descriptive, but again, no verb. What about the cafe? To fix it, the quiet cafe on the corner with vintage furniture and the smell of freshly brewed coffee is my favorite place to study. Adding the verb is transforms the phrase into a strong, complete sentence. Fragments with no independent clause. Finally, it's important to remember that only independent clauses can stand alone as sentences. Everything else, phrases and dependent clauses like adverbial clauses, adjective clauses, and noun clauses cannot function by themselves. One very common type is the dependent clause fragment. Dependent clauses leave us waiting for the rest of the idea. For instance, the treatment is effective, as the results showed. The second sentence is incomplete. The fix is, the treatment is effective, as the results showed. Another case, there are lots of mistakes if you look closely at her work. That second part is dangling. The fix is, if you look closely at her work, you'll see there are lots of mistakes. We also see fragments with introductory elements, but no main clause. For example, due to the unforeseen circumstances, including the sudden power outage, the unexpected equipment failure, and the last-minute cancellation of the keynote speaker, this is not a full sentence. To fix it, we extend the thought. Due to the unforeseen circumstances, including the sudden power outage, the unexpected equipment failure, and the last-minute cancellation of the keynote speaker, the event was postponed. By recognizing fragments, whether they're missing a subject, a verb, or an independent clause, you'll be able to repair them quickly and write clear, fully developed sentences in your TOEFL essays.